So good morning and happy Thursday. Welcome to Strength and Balance here. Today, we are using a chair and some weights. So if you have some weights at home, please grab some. A chair, you will utilize both. Today, we are doing minute intervals, which is a little different than repetitions from what we've been doing. So I want you to be mindful. We are doing a minute repetition. We are doing, usually for most of the exercises that we are doing today, we're doing 1 minute for one exercise, 1 minute for a different exercise. And then we're alternating between both of those 2 times through. So there's 4 minutes. There's no breaks in between these minutes. So I have it set up on a timer to where we just get right into it for 4 minutes. Now, a minute is a long time. So if your weights are really heavy, you can put the weights down and take a break when you are finished. The key is we need to do however many repetitions that are appropriate for you with the size weight, with the weight that you have. So if it's really light, we need to go slow and controlled. If it's heavy, we can go a little quicker and we can put them down when we have finished. Or take a little break in between. So form is key. I will describe what we're doing first, then we will get into the 4 minutes. But first we're gonna warm up. So let's all stand on up and start off. We're gonna focus a little bit more on, what'd I do? A little bit more on upper body, but we will hit some lower body as well. So if you don't have weights, you can do anything that's heavy or something without weight, just focus on the movement. Let's roll those arms back, big shoulder circles, so we can focus on the movement. The key is we really want to focus today on that mind-muscle connection. So really think about what muscle group am I saying that we are working, and you try to engage that muscle and try to feel that muscle working. Some muscles will be easier than others to feel, and that's normal, but try to really focus on everything that we're trying to feel today. And if you don't have weights, you can definitely still engage that muscle group without weights and still get a good workout and get that mind-muscle connection. Let's do one more each side, taking the arms back. Then we'll take those arms forward, big circles coming forward. Warm up the body. Definitely warm up these shoulders and arms. Like I said, it is going to be a little bit more focused on that upper body today. If anything feels off, you can always drop the weights if you do have weights and do it without the weights. So just make sure you listen to your body and do what's appropriate for you. And what's appropriate for you today. One more each side. Then we'll take the arms overhead, reach, and then the opposite side. So you might notice that you might be a little bit sore today. Maybe you were outside raking yesterday. So just be mindful. One more each side. Then we'll take it across, twist and twist. Make sure we pivot on that back toe, move the hips. One more each side. Then we're gonna stay here with a soft bend in the knee and swimmers. One arm comes forward, one arm comes back, pressing through the heels. One more each side. Then bring both arms out to the side, palms facing towards the floor, and small circles in one direction. and the opposite direction. And release. Bring the shoulders up and squeeze, and exhale, drop them down. Try to get them away from your ears, and up and squeeze. And when you drop them down, try to drop them down a little farther than you did the first time. One more like that. Bring them up and drop them down. Now we are going to flow shoulders forward, up, around, and down. Forward, up, around, and down. Feel this in the shoulder blades. So we want to squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back. Let's do one more like that, and then heels to the front. So right and left. Take the heel forward. And take the toes to the back. One more each side. Now arms come up in front. And then we are going to alternate soft bend in the knee. Bring one knee up and down, then the opposite side up and down. Slow and controlled. Let's do one more each side. Then we are going to bring those heels to your butt. So shift your weight and bring the heel to your butt. Bring the arms forward and back. One more each side. And then we are going to go right into those good mornings. So hands up by the head, soft bend in the knee, push your butt back, weight is pressed through the heels. Now make sure we push the butt back as you come down with that flat back. We should feel this down the hamstrings, and then push the hips forward and squeeze the butt. Back, forward and squeeze. Last one, you can release. All right, so now we're gonna stay upright. We're going to start with your bent over rows. So we are going to go into your alternating, single arm bent over rows, but we are using a chair. Before we get into your bent over rows, we are going to work the back. So the bent over rows are supposed to work that back. So before we get into the weights, I'd like you to bring your arms forward. When your arms are forward, I would like your shoulders to be down. Turn your palms in, so palms are facing each other. drive again the shoulders down. When you come back, I want you to bring the elbows back. When you bring the elbows back, I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades together. So the shoulder blades in the back are squeezing together. Chest is up, shoulders are down. A lot of times people, when they row, they bring the shoulders up because they compensate, but we want to keep those shoulders down, pull the elbows back, and squeeze the shoulder blades. Let's do a few here. Really focus on squeezing the shoulder blades together, because when we get into the bent over row, that's what we are going to do. So when we get into your bent over row, we will use a chair. We will only use one weight. So for your intervals, we will do one side for 1 minute, then the other side for the other minute, back to one side, and then back to the other side. So we'll do each side 2 times through. Again, if a minute's too long for you, you can always pause when you need to. You can rest when you need to. If you feel it in your low back, please stop. So, left hand will be on the chair. From here, we step our right leg back. So the same leg that has the weight will be stepped back. Your hips will be square as you come down and rest. Now, your hand that has the weight, if you extend that pointer finger, it's extended right down to the floor, let gravity take over, which means it's not out forward. It's straight down, let gravity take over. Shoulders down, squeeze the back. Then we drive that elbow back and release. Back and release. I would like you to pause when that elbow's back and really squeeze the back, okay? So we'll start here. We have 1 minute per side, 2 times through, so 4 minutes. We have a little bit of a 10-second buzzer, 10-second countdown. You will hear the timer, but I will also tell you when it's time. So you'll hear a faint buzz, but I'll tell you too. 3, 2, 1, let's work. So drive that elbow back, squeeze and pause, and release down. Elbow back, squeeze and pause. Now make sure that elbow slides right down your side. When we drive that elbow back, we want about a 90-degree angle behind the elbow, so we're not pulling the weight up to the shoulder. We're just driving the elbow back. Think that you have a string pulling your elbow up and the hand just follows. Again, hips and shoulders are square so we don't rotate. Pull the belly button up towards your spine. So keep a nice tight core. Both of my heels are on the ground, but if you have tight hamstrings, you can come up on that back toe slightly and bend that back knee. We have about 5 seconds and then we'll switch right into the opposite side and switch. So now that right hand is on the chair, your right foot is forward and your left leg is elbow back. Again, we don't have any transition time, so if you do need a transition time or do need a little bit of a break, take one when you need it. My weight keeps getting stuck in my pocket. And make sure we're driving the shoulder blades down towards the back pockets. We want to relax the shoulders away from ears. This is a hard move to get, so I really want every single one of you to focus on your muscle group that you are working. Do we feel this in the back? And that's time. We're switching back one more time through. So back to the right. Left hand's on the chair, left foot forward. Again, we do not have to go through for the whole minute. Whatever is appropriate for you and your body today. seconds. Then we'll switch over to the other side, and then we'll take a quick little break while we discuss what's coming next. 1 minute on the other side. Switch sides. So right hand's on the chair, right foot forward, left foot back. Hips and shoulders are square. If you are feeling this in the neck or traps up high, that means you are shrugging the shoulders up, and that is where we do not want to feel it. So drop the shoulders down. And like I said earlier, if you don't have any weight, you can still feel your muscles working without the weight. Mind-muscle connection. Really focus on where you should be feeling this. And release. All right, you can grab a quick sip of water if you need it. The next round, so we're gonna take, you can take your time, listen to me, grab some water while I talk. So I'm gonna give you a couple of options. So the next round, we are going into your sit to stands and your shoulder press. Shoulder press will be first. So that shoulder press, I would like you to do seated. So when you press those weights up, we are seated. Now we are not seated against the back of the chair. We want to sit at the edge of the chair. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Shoulders are down. So we are still working the lats. So still working the back, shoulders down and back. Weights will come up by the shoulders. Abdomen is tight, squeeze the midsection. So two options. We can either alternate the arms or bring them both up together and down. We can do a combination of either. So you can do one on each side and then two together, however you need to. And again, a minute is a long time for this. So please take your time and rest when need be. For your sit to stands, if you have nice strong hips and knees, you can keep your weights here and just stand up and come back down, or you can rest the weights down on the floor and stand up and sit back down, whatever's more appropriate for you. But remember, and again, that sit to stand for a minute is a long time, so take your time. There is no transition time, so you can utilize some of that minute as your transition time. All right, let's get right into it. So we have 10 seconds to get ready for the shoulder presses. Again, keep that core nice and tight, palms facing each other, elbows in. I'm gonna start off alternating, so right and left. So I'm gonna face you. Elbows stay down, wrist stays in line with that elbow as we power straight on up. Punch the ceiling. Eyes are forward. Make sure you don't look up. You want to keep those eyes forward. A nice straight wrist. Abdomen is tight, so pull the belly button back towards your spine. Sit up nice and tall. Focus on bracing that whole core. And the shoulders, keep going. The shoulders stay down. So even though we're pressing up, we're not shrugging and lifting up. We're just pressing up with the neck nice and long. And by doing that, you're squeezing the shoulder blades together in the back. And those sit to stands, everybody, all the way up and all the way back down. Take your time here. If your arms need a break, you can put the weights down, whatever is appropriate for you, because again, we have 2 more minutes after this minute. So we have 4 full minutes. So depending on how heavy your weights are and whatever you need to do. Now make sure we hinge, pressing through both heels evenly. Feet are parallel. Maybe toes turned out slightly, but make sure the knee goes in the direction of the toe. So if the toes are turned out slightly, then the knees also have to turn out slightly. Pressing through the heel, but keeping the toes down. We have 10 seconds. Then we'll pick up those weights and do this one more time. And let's work. So back to that shoulder press. Again, keep your core nice and tight. We don't want to feel this in that low back. If you start to feel it in the low back, I would like you to alternate and focus on tightening up that core even more. Again, eyes are forward. Make sure we don't look up towards the ceiling. Chest is up. Core is braced. We have 10 more seconds. Then we'll get back to those sit to stands for your last time. And up and down. Again, if this is too much, holding the weights up on the shoulders, you can always rest them down and do this with no weight. Whatever is appropriate for you today. And remember, we are doing a longer time. So we usually do about 10 to 15 repetitions for everything. We're probably doing more depending on how fast you are going for everything. So just be mindful of form. And time. Here you can grab a quick sip of water while I tell you what we're doing next. So the good news is we're done with that chair. You can push it aside if it's in the way. We are going to go right into your bicep curls and then your stiff leg deadlift. So your bicep curl, we are going to keep the palms forward and curl up and down. So the bicep curl, when you curl up, a lot of times I see people's wrist, hold on, I don't want to hold a weight while I do this. I see a lot of people's wrist bend like this, and all the pressure goes into the wrist. So we want to turn and have the knuckles up, okay? And we want to squeeze that bicep. We want to feel that bicep engage, okay? So we can either alternate or bring them together. Now your stiff leg deadlift. If you have issues with this low back, I don't want you to use any weights, and we can go into those good mornings, okay? So what, like we did at the warm up. Now, if you're feeling strong, you're feeling good, we can get into that stiff leg deadlift. So the weights will be on your legs. Make sure the weights have contact with your legs the whole time. What I like to do is take my thumb and drag my thumb down my leg. I find it's easier to keep contact that way. So soft bend in the knee, chest is up, butt back, down and up. Squeeze the butt. So we want to feel this down the hamstring. All right, so we are doing both for 1 minute. Again, if that's too much for you, we can get into that good morning. So we still feel it in the hamstring, but we don't have that extra added weight. Okay, 1 minute. We're starting off with bicep curls. Maybe. There we go. Get ready. All right, we have 10 seconds. Get ready. So a minute is a long time. Again, take your time and alternate if need be. Let's work. Focus, and we want to squeeze the bicep at the top and then release on down. Up and squeeze and down. So the elbow is always pointed down towards the floor. So I can bring my weights up here, but then my elbows go forward. So my weights aren't going to come up as high because those elbows are pointed down towards the floor. We are squeezing the bicep at the top. And pay attention to your wrist. Make sure the wrist does not move. We should have no movement in that wrist. The only thing that is moving is right in the elbow. That lower half of the arm is coming up. Everything else is staying nice and tight. 5 seconds, and then we will get into that stiff leg deadlift. Let's work. So a soft bend in the knee. Let the hands run down the leg, but we push the butt back. So we have a soft bend in the knee, but we're not squatting. Then back up and squeeze the butt. Chest is up the whole time. It is imperative that you have a flat back. By having a flat back, guess what? We're working the back. Shoulders down and back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together like we do for everything, okay? Shoulders down and back, shoulder blades squeezed, closed. Squeeze them together. Press through the heels. And we should feel this down the hamstring, so your butt should go back. Three seconds, then back on through. Now this time, if you'd like, we can switch it to a hammer curl. So the palms are facing each other. Just a little bit of a different angle, still working the bicep. Same mechanics, or you can keep it with that basic bicep curl. You can alternate between the two, but focus on that form. And that stiff leg deadlift, hips away. Last time, make sure those weights travel down the leg. Hinge at the waist, back and up, squeeze the butt. Eyes are forward. We have 5 more seconds. Keep that core tight. And that's time. You can release. Okay. So now we are making our way down to the floor. So we will use our weights for definitely the first block on the floor. Then it can be your choice for the second block, and then we won't use it for the third block on the floor. So we have 3 more like this. So grab some water, make your way down to the floor. Make sure your heart rates are down if your heart rates are up. Don't forget your weights. So on the floor, we are starting off with your chest press. Now, as you make your way down to the floor, I'm going to stay up on my feet and explain this to you real quick. So the chest press when we are on the floor. So imagine that my knees are bent, I'm on my back. I want to squeeze the shoulder blades. So by squeezing the shoulder blades, the elbows come down a little bit, which means that the elbows should be out at 45 degrees. Then we press straight up towards the ceiling. If I'm on my back, then back down. So I want you to bring the elbows in and squeeze the back. When we're on our backs, press straight up and back down. That is your shoulder or your chest press. All right, chest press. Then when we are on our back, we are going to, from that chest press, we are going into your skull crusher. So we're working the back of the arm, the tricep. So I'm going to come down and show you the tricep, the skull crushers, your arms. So first of all, that chest press, turn the elbows in slightly, squeeze the back, press straight up and down, up and down. Then from here, we're extending the weights up, then palms facing each other, bend the elbows and bring the weights down next to the shoulders. So the elbows will be pointed up towards the ceiling. Then we are extending both arms up, squeezing the tricep, and then back down. So you want to make sure that the only thing, again, that's moving is from the elbow to the wrist, from the elbow down. Squeeze the tricep. Now, if you have two weights and those get too heavy for your triceps, you can always take one weight, one dumbbell head in either side, and come down towards your nose, back up. It's called a skull crusher because you don't want to crush your skull, so don't hit yourself in the head, okay? So those two chest press skull crushers, 1 minute each, 2 times through. We have 10 seconds, so I hope you're ready. Whoops. Give a little more than 10 seconds because there's a ad on my timer. There we go. Get ready. Okay, come on down. Get ready. Chest press first. When you do your chest press, make sure we hold a pelvic tilt, core is tight, and press up and down. We want to go slow and controlled. So we are working the chest, but don't forget to squeeze the back. Here's that mind-muscle connection. Do you feel this in the back? Are you engaging the back? Press up, punch the ceiling, make sure the wrist is nice and straight. Control on the way up, then control on the way back down. Don't get lost in thinking about grocery shopping or anything like that. Today, I really want you to focus on the muscles that we are working, and are you engaging the appropriate muscles? And right into those skull crushers, palms facing each other. Weights come down, control them down, elbows up towards the ceiling and up, and we want to squeeze the tricep at the top. Down and up and squeeze. Again, if these weights are too heavy to have one in either hand, you can do one dumbbell head in each hand and it lightens the load a bit. And bring that weight down to the nose. Don't smack yourself in the nose. And then back on up. Elbows will always be pointed up towards the ceiling. And one more time through, so back to that chest press. Now, if you need a second, please take the time that you need. If those muscles are saying, holy crow, we just worked for 2 full minutes, it's okay. Listen to your body because that proper form is what's most important. So if you start to get fatigued, you probably will start to lose form, and we don't want to lose form. Form is key. You might notice those triceps a little bit more this time through with that chest press, and that's normal. That's good. That means we're working them. And triceps. Last time through. Last minute. Make sure you keep your core tight. Strong pelvic tilt, low back press down to the floor. And that is time. Okay, you can release those weights down. Next round, we are going to go into your bridge for 1 minute and then roll to a side and do your clamshell on one side for 1 minute. So that'll mean we're doing 2 bridges and 2 clamshells, but only hitting each side once. Okay, so your bridge, you can choose to add weight or no weight. That is up to you. If you choose to add weight, you are holding your dumbbells on the hips. You are holding them here. Do not let them rest here. Hold your hands on the weights. Then press up and squeeze and back down. Okay, that clamshell, when we roll over to a side, knees are bent, abdomen is tight, and we're lifting up and down. If you do want to use a weight, you can keep that weight on the abductor and lift up and down, or you do not have to. Again, that's up to you. So one side for the clamshell each minute. I will remind you. All right, so I'm coming on up. And let's get ready. Oh, we have 10 seconds. Starting with your bridge. Starting with that bridge, weights or no weights, pelvic tilt, abdomen is tight, then lift the hips up, squeeze the butt at the top, and then slowly come back on down. Up and squeeze, and down. Again, take your time. We're gonna be here for a minute no matter how fast we go, so we really wanna go slow, controlled, make sure we're squeezing at the top. And get ready, let's roll to the left, clamshell. Hips are square, shoulders are square. Again, take your time. I want you to lift that right knee up, pause and squeeze. Use that hip to really come up. And then when you come back down, really control it on the way back on down. So control it up and control it back on down. And back to your back, bridges, bridges. Up and down. Again, weights or no weights, up to you. Squeeze at the top. And now roll to the right. Clamshells on the right. Let me spin this way. Take your time. Don't forget to pause. And release. And release. So we have one more block. One more block. Perfect timing. So this time through, we are doing no weights, a low plank for 1 minute. You're gonna love this block. So a low plank for 1 minute. After that low plank, we will get right into your bird dog. So for the first, so we'll do right arm, left leg. For the first 30 seconds, we will do a dynamic bird dog, so elbow to knee. For the second 30 seconds, we will do a static hold on the same side. I'll remind you. Then we'll do the other side for the bird dog. So again, the other side we'll do dynamic for 30, and I'll tell you when 30 seconds is, and then we'll do a static hold. At the end of that, without a break, we are getting right into your high plank for 1 minute. So this is a lot on the shoulders. This is a lot of core work. So please be mindful with the low back. Please be mindful with the shoulders and the wrist. You can take a second. I'm going to keep the timer next to me so I can tell you. Actually, I'll try to face it to you so you can see the timer too. So you'll know how many seconds are left, okay? So I will try to tell you how many seconds. We're going to start off with that low plank. Look at that. Well, I don't know if you can see that because it's small, but if you can see it, great. All right, so we're going to start off in that low plank. So we have 10 seconds. So this is the last block. So we're getting ready for that low plank. 3, 2, 1, let's work. Low plank, elbows in line with shoulders. Shoulders are down. Squeeze the lats. So those big long muscles down the side of the back, the shoulder blades are down and back, flat back. Pull the belly button up towards your spine. Make sure you are breathing. We are holding here for 1 minute. We have 30 more seconds to go. Fifteen seconds, and then we will get right into that dynamic bird dog on the right side. 10. And right into that dynamic bird dog. Right arm forward, left leg back, right palm in, then elbow to knee, and then extend long. Well, elbow and knee come into center. So again, we're gonna be here for 30 seconds. Take your time with this dynamic bird dog. Your left wrist is in line with shoulder. And 30 seconds, we will hold. Same side. Hold that same side. So that right arm is long, left leg is long, and pause. Hips and shoulders are square. Keep going. 15 seconds, then we'll get right into the left side with the dynamic first. And dynamic on the left. Let's work. So dynamic, 30 seconds. Elbow comes back, knee comes forward, hips stay square. And hold. Fifteen seconds, then we'll get into that high plank. and high plank. So if you need a second, take a second. Otherwise, you're up, shoulders are down, wrist is in line with shoulder, belly button is up towards your spine. Here I will tell you every 15 seconds. That's 15. Again, keep going. If that bothers a shoulder, come down into that low plank, or if you need to take a break and then get back into it, that's okay. That's 30. $45. We have 15 more seconds to go. And release. Push back into child's pose. Bump back over heels. Relax. We are going to stretch. Good job. So push back into child's pose. Butt is down on the heels, and make sure your fingertips are stretched out as far as possible. So we want a nice straight arm. Chest is down towards the floor. Butt is down towards the heels. And then walk your hands over to your left and press that right hand firmly down on the ground. So again, we should feel this down the lats. We should feel this down the back. We worked them really hard today. Arms are long. Your head is between the arms. Your butt is down on the heels. And the other side. Back to center. Tabletop position, hands and knees. Cat-cow, arch, and sway. Try to get as much flexion in the spine that you can. And come down flat on your stomach. Extend both arms long. Then bring the elbows back next to the chest. Hips stay down, chest comes up into your cobra. And release down. Now you can place your head down on that left hand and reach for your right ankle. Pull the right heel back towards your butt. If this is impossible, roll over to your left and do this on your side instead. And release, other side. So again, you can roll out over to the right, pull that knee back if need be. Otherwise, you can be on the stomach. You can roll to your side to get the ankle and then roll onto your stomach. And release. Take your time, roll over to your back. On your back, arms out at shoulder height, drop the knees over to the right, head comes to the left, and hold. And knees over to the left, head to the right, and hold. Back to center, extend both arms long overhead, both legs long, reach in opposite directions. Get as long and tall as you can go. From here, I'm going to have you sit on up. Extend both legs long, hands can stay behind the back. Knees are down, and from here, just walk your hands forward, and if you have the flexibility, try to reach towards your toes, heels down. And release, come back onto your back. Bend both knees. Take your right ankle, place it over left knee. Then reach behind the left knee and pull that left knee in. Other side. And release. Take your time. We're all going to come up to our feet. Watch out for the weights on the floor. So make your way all the way up to standing. When you are standing and ready, we're just going to roll the shoulders back. Hold on one second. Keep rolling the shoulders back when you're up. Now bring the shoulders up, around, and down. Hold the shoulders down and take your head, look to the right, and drop your chin. And to the other side, drop your chin. Back to center, right ear to right shoulder. Shoulders are down, and if you need to increase this stretch, take your right hand, slightly pull down on the left side of your head. Other side. and release. Bring your arms out at shoulder height, palms up towards the ceiling. Look up and push the thumbs back, squeezing the shoulder blades, opening that chest. Straight arm. Then take that left arm, bring it across the body, pull it in with the right. Other side. And release. Bring that left arm up, bend at the elbow, elbows forward, and we pull that elbow back so we feel this stretch down the tricep. And release, same thing on the other side. And release, roll the shoulders back, take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Last one. Good job today, everybody. Happy Thursday.